crush your fear. Crush it. I'm Antoinette. It's 3 a.m. I'm in the medical ICU. In my internal medicine ICU rotation, doing a week of nights. And as I was walking down the hall, I was reminiscing on how deathly afraid I was of this part of medicine. Seeing all these tubes, lines, and drains and people I thought was disgusting before I started medical school. And now that I'm here, it's almost like second nature. So I wanted to do a series for you all about overcoming fear. And so welcome to the introduction. Definition of fear, from what I understand it, is just a belief that impending doom is present, that something bad or dangerous is going to happen. I heard this wonderful quote years ago. I honestly don't know who said this quote, but it says, fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's not actually a threat or danger, it's just a perceived threat or danger. And I kind of want to discuss how we can overcome it and share my experience in overcoming it. My story is that freshman year of college, spring break, we were doing a volunteer rotation in the hospital. And I ran into an ER physician that I was shadowing the day before. We were going to go see a person on the general floors. There was police outside the doors. We're standing in the room like 10 team deep. And this ER physician begins to speak in my ear and say, wow, these patients, they really break my heart. They're hard for me to see. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? What's happening? And all I remember is seeing the internist remove the sheet off the bed, seeing a catheter, seeing braids and bruises everywhere. And the next thing you know, I just see black with a green grid. And I hear people saying, Antoinette, do you know where you are? Do you know what day it is? Did you eat this morning? And I said, what is going on? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Like, I'm in the hospital. And then I look around and I realize I'm in a hospital bed. Right? A bed that looked just like this, okay? And I'm just thinking to myself, what happened? And they're like, you fainted. And they took me to the ED, and all my friends, because again, this was spring break, a school-related trip, all my friends were like, guess what are you doing in that bed? Get out of bed, stop playing. And I was just like, man, I was so ashamed. I was so embarrassed. And for the rest of my journey in undergrad, I kind of had this weight that I tried to suppress because that was not like me. Like, I was always the strong friend. And I couldn't understand how it is that I passed out, right? But part of it was the emotional attachment that I had to tubes, lines, and drains in places. And this is the first time that I'd seen, essentially she had a catheter in, right? A catheter in a female. She was a substance abuser, so she had like classical scars and track marks everywhere. And it was just really overwhelming for me. And fast forward, I finally get into medical school. I'm in my trauma surgery rotation. And my very first day, there's an emergent cholecystectomy. So I, as a student, just kind of like stand in the background, looking in the periphery, but like really digging in, like looking, wanting to seem interested. But also what I was doing internally was I was coaching myself. Don't faint, don't faint, don't faint, don't do it again, don't faint, right? Because that experience my first year had actually kind of traumatized me, and I never really spoken to anyone about it. And so I'm seemingly engaged, but also coaching myself, making sure I don't pass out, like bending my legs, the whole nine. And I see the attending looking at me. He's like, Antoinette, scrub in, let's go. And I was like, okay. So I play sports all my life, right? I'm like, let's go, coach. So I threw on my scrubs, or my sterile garments rather, and I'm standing there over this patient's anesthetized body, and the attending says, here you go, and gives me 2 probes. And I look at him, and I look down at his probes, and I look at him, and I'm like, I don't know what these are that he just put in my hand, or let alone like what he wants me to do with them. And he's like, this is the camera, control it. Now, the person doing the surgery was a second-year general surgery resident, and he looked at the attending and he said, sir, as in, how are you going to give this person on her day one these cameras when I'm trying to do this procedure? She's going to mess it up. Like, I need good visualization. And the attending's like, she's got it. And he was like, sir. And he's like, she's got it. She's got it. And I promise you, Soul Men, I did not flinch. I did not blink my eyes. I'm not even sure I was breathing, but of course I had to be breathing because I didn't pass out. And it was the most exhilarating experience that I probably have ever had in medicine. This person was actually pregnant, so I got to see with these camera, like the fetus as he was removing the gallbladder, and it was just exceptional. I think what that attending did for me is he empowered me, and he like literally made me face any fears that I'd had. And from that day forward, I was fine. So that's my vulnerability story. No one really knows that, but now y'all know. And the moral of this story really is that we can overcome so much, and I want to help you through that, because you can excel so much quicker and so much higher in medicine if you literally face all of your fears and honestly become more emotionally intelligent. So that's what this series is about. And a lot of the advice that I'm giving is kind of framed from a book that I read over a decade ago that's still with me. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Okay, and I put a link in here at the bottom. It's my affiliate link, meaning if you go through this link and you buy this book, then a portion of the proceeds come back this way, and those proceeds are going to go to building and growing Soul Men. So just FYI, full disclosure. But get the book however way you want to get the book. I really just want you to understand the lessons, and if it helps you, great. All right. So also, please subscribe to the page so that other people can be helped from this, and that we can continue to grow this community. Click it. Click it. Click it. And the like button. Click it all. Click it all. Just click.